Hey there guys, as you may know if you've been following the channel, lately I've been on a quest to code profitable apps and in general to turn code into money. Well, I noticed that all of these apps that I developed and ended up making money follow the exact same pattern and frameworks. There are a lot of common components within apps that are needed no matter what their end goal is. Things like the authentication with email verification, paywalls, landing pages, and a database. In this video, I will walk you through my way of fast-tracking these implementations and even present you some of the common code so you can earn from your code faster. There is no secret that nowadays using AI can make you a way more efficient coder, as long as you still understand the output and you are able to debug it in case at some point your agent gets stuck. The best way I found of doing this would be using Cursor. You can use it to implement both web and mobile apps and it just works. Even though sometimes it makes mistakes or the codebase it generates doesn't fully work from scratch, once you finally make some of the components work yourself, you can create a Git repo with the base implementation, and each time you get a new SaaS idea, you fork it and start to build upon it. When it comes to web projects, I am using TypeScript for type safeness, Node for runtime, Supabase for persisting data, Stripe for processing payments with low fees, Resend for email verification, and Vercel for deployment. Granted, your app idea still needs to be good in order to end up making money with it. Or you can just copy an existing one that is successful and tweak it a bit, but more than 70% of the work will be already done for you. Just in case you want to skip this entire hassle and get in-depth explanations about each step, you can get this entire common part of the code in my advanced course down in the first link from the description. Broadly, I found that even though AI can write 90% of the code for you, with most of it also working, you'll still need some coding skills to get past that last 10%. Whether we are talking about setting up the environment variables correctly or a misspelled column name from the database that ruins your query and throws an exception, you'll have to fix it on your own sometimes. That's why I made this material, and compared to how much you can scale the revenue of your application, it feels like a bargain. A lot of my students messaged me since I launched the course about their first sale after following my framework, and I am so happy for them. With a bit of guidance, it really is not that hard to get your first sale. The best part about this entire framework is that all of the services used within it are working on a freemium model, meaning you only pay for them once you reach a certain threshold, and in reality, you only reach it once you have a lot of paid users. All of this makes the setup starting cost of developing your apps completely free. Creating and storing the data in a remote database, and even public deployment, which is almost always paid. Prompting Cursor with what you want to build will do 90% of the work. You just need to know what you want done, and how to fix things he cannot. For example, he cannot push to your Git repository or run commands in the terminal. Also, he cannot deploy on Vercel, create API keys with third-party services, or set up environment variables, but can still explain to you how to do most of these. What I find amazing is that it will create your data models and also give you SQL scripts that you can run in Supabase in order to create the database and connect to it flawlessly. There is a bit of getting accustomed to all of these platforms and how they work, but eventually you'll get there. Not to mention that most services have strong documentation that explain in detail how you can integrate with them. For example, Resend, which I always use to generate 4-digit codes and email them on sign up, they explain to you step by step in any language the code you need for their template to be sent. And this is how it looks in your codebase. At any point you get stuck, there is also the option of detailing your context to Claude Code or ChatGPT, and 9 out of 10 times they will find you a solution or propose different ones until something finally works. Another hiccup you may encounter is that Cursor lets you start for free, but at some point will ask you to upgrade to their paid plan for more usage, and trying with different email accounts will only get you so far, speaking from experience. Here I feel it makes more sense to use my already working code rather than paying $20 per month to build the base from scratch much, especially when there's no guarantee it will even work. You can use those credits, energy, and time to build your actual idea on top of my base and launch your SaaS, making profit faster. But yeah, other than that, if you got any specific questions about any of the points I touched in this video, I'll be glad to respond in the comment section down below. Thank you for staying with me up to the end, and until next time, as always, happy coding.